Alright, welcome back everyone. Today we are talking about the one tax haven to rule them all. That's the corny video description I'm going to be giving this. Timestamps down below if you want to skip around to where you want to be. So this is the accumulation of previous ones that I have built. Comments on my YouTube, posts on Reddit, people who chatted on Twitch when I was streaming this. By the way, I will have the VODs link below that you can watch the whole building of this 3-part episode. And this is the 7.5 story and triangles. That's important. We did get triangles on it. I figured out how. That was from a comment on YouTube. I appreciate that. And a few other bits that someone improved on something I had made, and then I went and iterated that into this base, and I improved on it for our base. Because we're trying to make the perfect base. So you can see there is a whole heap and lot going on. It does have... It's 5x5, but it also has triangles, and boy, they go all over the place. And you can see stuff that sticks out takes no damage, even though it's completely out of the structure. It takes no damage, and that is to include the water cisterns that are up there. They've been up there for a little over a day, and they've taken no damage. The storm just went through right before I started this. I had to wait for it to start this video. Some of the stats, let's look at that real quick, and then I'll do the outside base tour. Yes, it is a bit cramped, but it's better than before. So we are up to almost 200,000 volume, which is absolutely nuts. That would actually fit my entire guild base in here right now. Almost 5,500 slots. I bumped it up to 1.4 million water and up to 3,750 total power capacity. Capped on decoration, capped on projections, capped on storage, capped on lights. You still have 8 production left if you can find a place to put them. For example, all the decoration we did to the outside, maybe you don't care about all that and you just want production. You've got the space for it. So we're going to start here with this backside. And as you can see, we do have the assault bay, but it's a little different, and we'll go into details on that when we get to it. We have the 2 Atreides bits, which makes a really nice chevron look on this outside. Unfortunately, you can't actually place anything on it because it is considered outside. It's outside the boundary. We do have, and we'll get closer into that, we have a half balcony. Obviously, there is a carrier up there. Both of these 2 sides, there is nothing you can place decoration-wise on the outside. It's absolutely touching the edge. Like, it's clipping the edge. It's so tight. Some of it's even sticking out a bit. But you have several entrances, several egresses, if you will. This side was mostly my partner Gateway. He's one of the guild members, a kind of a builder in crime, so to speak. We did a temple to Shai-Hulud. Now, again, if you didn't care about all this decoration stuff, there's still 8 production. You could stick water out here, you could stick more wind turbines, you name it. More wind catchers. You have a whole heap and lot of stuff you could fit on this side if you don't care about having it look pretty or presentable or lived in, if you will. We decided we wanted to go with a really nice lived-in feel. Got some Muad'Dibs running around, checking things out. For those who didn't know, yes, you can place things up on top of there. We did everything we could to play with shapes. To get as much as we could with shapes going on. By the way, this is the way that you get the corner. It does stick out, but it does not take damage, and there are 2 of these you can use. Well, technically you could use the Atreides, but it looks really bad. Can't explain it. It just does not look right. And then this side, I was really proud of, has, if you look at it from up here, we'll get up here and I will crouch so you can get a look without my big old noggin. It kind of has that feel, the lower 2 levels. In the first Dune movie, when Leto is standing on the balcony, I realize it's not the exact same look. They had these big doors, but it has that feel of that bunker look. Like they're looking out and he's telling Gurney, hey, that's where they're going to hit us, where the spice refining is done. And then up here, you have the triangle penna shields, What that does is allowed me to expand the hangar out onto the triangles, because there is nothing wall-wise you can put on this outer edge on both of the triangle sides. As much as we would love to do it, there's nothing you can do. This I had to compromise, and I'll explain why. This is one of the faults with this space. You can actually fit this in a space that has, and I'll even go ahead and show it to you. Gotta get inside there first. Right now, I have this thing jammed in there as tight as I can get it, because the collision for this is about like 2 or 3 pixels behind that tire right there. And it's hard to get this to stay safe in here. And the problem I did is, because I wanted to get water on this side on the inside, I centered this on its wall. So I could have single block on the outside, a single block on the inside, and then a little bit of space around it to get these corners and put the water on. That was a mistake. If you build this, push this as tight to that wall as you can possibly get it, because there's water in that wall. And then you'll have plenty of room. And what you can do with this, first off, some people don't even realize you can get a buggy into this. I'm going to show you. It does work, but this is so close, and the incline pushes it down that it causes problems. So Gateway figured this out a while ago. Now, it's going to surprise you that I can fit a buggy into a 1x1 hole, but you can. It's easier to back this in as close as that is to this. So it'll come in here, but then it runs into some problems. Right now, we're fine, but as soon as I try to get out, I land on the wheel, and then this, if you look up above it, this slant, which is fine to come in and out, actually pushes the buggy back into the spice harvester. So I'll try, or spice refinery. Wow, it actually didn't do it that time. So this time it worked. Let's see if it did safe. Okay, so this time it played nice. If I had pushed this back that way, you can get it back about 2 feet, then you'd have all the room you want, and then you can fit a buggy into a 1x1 Pentashield, freaking everybody out. Like, how'd you even do that? It's because of the slant. Something about the slant has no collision with the top of your vehicle. Well, it's playing nice right now, so I'm going to leave it. So obviously you have your spice refinery. On this level, we have this thing as decorated as humanly possible. So I put this over here just to give easy access, so when you want to go and power everything. Here is another comment. This was on Twitch when I was streaming 2 nights ago, I think it was. If you use the Atreides roof, excuse me. If you use this piece right here, the rooftop, because it sticks up higher than any other floor block, you will not have the sand. I did a little bit of it. I can't do all of it because I literally cannot move all this stuff just to put those things in there. And you can't place them with stuff being placed on them. So I was able to move all these things back here and get this on. If I were to rebuild this, I would scooch that all the way to the edge so I had better garage space. And then here back, so underneath the machine, and this whole side would all be the Atreides rooftop. So it has a, quote, floor, even though this has a floor, Harkonnen Stronghold floor. All of that is there's Harkonnen Stronghold underneath this whole thing. So it has a strong floor under the sand, it's just you can't see it. So we've got blood, repair, all your basic low-tier stuff right here as soon as you walk in the base. You've got a pair of spice generators. We're only using one at the moment. And we have both of our vehicle crafters right here. Then you got your big refinery. So if you're coming in with a buggy and you want to refine a bunch of stuff, boom, it's right there. You have a trick here. So once you get up just a little bit, you'll notice we have a half balcony. You cannot place a wall right there because this sticks out into it. So we had to do this to be able to keep players from climbing in. But it works out really nicely. Gives us a really cool little balcony that we can actually come around. Sometimes you can get through this, sometimes you gotta crawl. And you can get around to this level. Same thing, sometimes you gotta crawl, sometimes you can get to it. We've got lots of places you can seat. I now realize that's a little close to the chair. Gotta pet the donkey. You'll notice these two walls are smashed up against each other. So the trick here is the rooftop here, Dune angle roof, fits to the edge of this. You cannot fit a wall on the edge of this, but for some reason this Dune, which actually protrudes it out, there's something about the Dune pieces that allow it to be pushed out of the boundary, and that gave us this wall that we could snap to it, which is one wall thickness off, and that gave us half. So we were able to snap this wall to the edge of that piece, and then the rest of it is snapped to the normal grid, the standard grid, because this is the gate right here. So it worked out real nice. I really hope one of these days they give us half-wide floors and half-wide vertically walls, as well as half-wide ramps and half-wide stairs width-wise. So you pop up, and this you could consider like this dump bins. This one and the one above it are kind of your dump bins. So these are your dump bins for the buggy. Not much else going on right here. You come up to the hangar level, and there's your dump bins for the assault. So you have quite a bit of storage right off the bat. As soon as you come in, you've also got water on that level. Water on the bottom level is the purifiers. So we have an assault here. If you look, assault is safe. And even though parts of it are sticking out, it's because these pentashields go all the way to this edge. So enough of it is inside the pentashield, which allows me to scooch this clear over, utilizing the triangles that normally we can't utilize for something like this, because I can't run a pentashield horizontally across this. You can't run a pentashield, a wall, nothing. So coming here, we got a dining table. This is my solution since we can't push chairs up snug into it, which I think is dumb. You use the Kaladin bench and you turn it around backwards. You could also use the Chome chair. This. You could use the Chome backless chair and you just turn it around so that the arrow facing out at you and not facing the table. And that allows you to look like it's scooted up under there, and that's in case you want to park this a little closer in because maybe you're nervous. I've had this parked there for more than a day and there's been no damage. So you come up here, this is your main crafting level. You have all the pairs of things, so there's your survival crafters, garment, weapon, you've got your big chemical refinery, and 5 advanced death stills this time. I bumped everything up as far as production, storage, everything. So storage here would be generally for bodies, probably. Maybe a little bit of base fuel or something like that, but most likely be bodies. And then we've got enough room. We were able to make a nice little bedroom. This was all gateway in here. He did a really nice job. Very handsome, very chaotic. Well, it looks good. We've got 3 water cisterns inside there, and underneath this, there are 3 water cisterns each. Guess I should have shown that when I was down there. There are 3 water cisterns on the bottom level, and 3 water cisterns on the level above it. So there's 6 there, and then 3 on that side. That makes 9. That's 10. And then there's 4 outside for 1.4 million. I got a light directly over because I wanted to make, instead of hiding this, I wanted to make it center stage. I wanted to make that the pièce de résistance kind of thing in here. We also did some nice chandelier work. I love the way the Dune floor looks up there with the observer angles. It just looks really, really good. And I use Chome Facility. Right there is the bottom of the storage, the vault room. And I think the white really accents it nicely. So we can pop out here. And this is 2 of your wind turbines. And you can get around, so it's tight, but you can get around and you can fuel them individually, or you can fuel them all at once from the console. So we have a little hop up. There's no Shigawire necessary for this base. You need water on this level. And then we can come up, and this is the vault room. So the vault room is absolutely massive. This would be like your break room table where they have all the coffee and snacks because you're up here working. You know, we got all the storage for all the things, overflowing in storage because we got so much stuff. Here's some workbenches. And it has an absolute truckload of storage. Get to them very, very easily, just standing here up and down. Holy moly, this is our, quote, radio with speakers. It's kind of silly. Then we come up to the carrier level. We did try the the built-in here, and we failed miserably at it. So we're like, you know what? We know this works, so we're just going to go back to this. So we've got the safe for the carrier container. Carrier itself. Safe, 100%. This has been here for 3 days. And fully safe. And this is only 1.5 stories tall. So there is a heaping lot of that carrier sticking out, and it is safe. It's a 3 wide by 5 long. There is actually a wall that goes up right to the edge, right here. That was to get this Pentashield in, because this is just higher than a 1.5 story, so you can't have a Pentashield above it. Even though a Pentashield would work, it would still function. You can't have one directly above it in a 1.5. You could if it's a 2-story. And I had to have a Pentashield up here. So the way I solved that is this part here has a little angle to give me something to snap to. This one's a wall. And then in here, over this guy... by the way, this can produce almost 400,000 water a day. I have these guys. Just to kind of cinch it in and make it look nice. These 2 here are for the... Well, one is for the Pentashield on the roof. So then we come out this door. The door serves no real purpose. I just like the door. And we have an overhang. You have 3 water catchmen out here. All can be gotten to very easily. And then we have the rooftop deck, which is quite nice, I think. Very cozy. And somewhat protected from the sun. It is not perfect. You will still get roasted at certain times of the day. But it is somewhat protected from the sun. And it is nice and cozy up here. Good little spot to sit. I don't like building just production. Like... I don't want a stale box that does nothing but the thing I need it to do. I want something that I can, quote, live in. I realize I'm putting that in air quotes because it's silly, but I want something I can live in, you know? And then I'll step down here and show you this. So we've got 2 more wind turbines here. There is no direct access to this. You'll either have to Shigawire up or jump down. And then I put this, which is a Atreides roof. It's a Atreides corner. These guys right here, the triangle part. To bring this down a little bit versus doing 2 of the triangle flat. And it looks really nice. It almost looks like a radiator from the outside. And it keeps these from taking any damage. Helps to keep them. I also have them as tight against the back as I can possibly get them. Alright, let's do a little vehicle tour. Good lord, that's bright. She's a brute, but it's everything. And it still gives a person that wants to do this design, it still gives you more room. You could max out the 8 more production and put more wind turbines, more water catchment using this vertical here, if you didn't care about having the Shai-Hulud thing. I love the way this looks from the top. Isn't that like the coloring from like a Subnautica thing or something? Well, let's show you that. We'll go up here and I will show you how easy it is to get the container out. Placing it back in, every once in a while it bounces off of the wall, but it works fine. Whoa. Just center it-ish, and you're just fine. And then this, I usually try to nose it right up to that Penna shield, even maybe have it clip just a hair. Enough so that the fat bits of the tail stick out the backside, and then I just kind of try to center it in that 3 wide. Alright, so we got just a hair sticking out. We don't have a landing gear doing the funky chicken or anything. We manage vehicle, safe. So that is what I would consider to be the one tax haven to rule them all. I really, really like it. I think it's our best work yet. And hopefully we'll get some good comments on this with people saying, oh, you know, if you tweak this little thing and then maybe the next time we do one, it'll be even better. Which I think, thankfully, for the audience that is giving suggestions and ideas of how to tweak things so that we can come together as a community and create the literal perfect tax haven base. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one.